take on the process and on the recount process. And I was just talking with the two registrars and the head moderator. I didn't do any of the work involved with the recount, but it was obviously I did have vested interest, and it was more than a little nerve-wracking. And I will say that coming up to the first recount wasn't nerve-wracking, because I thought I was blissfully unaware, and I thought that there was a process in place for counting, for recounting, and I wasn't aware that there was not. Found that out during the day, and obviously at the end of that first recount, there were a lot of questions. I would say that as a candidate, I had quite a bit more anxiety between the first and second recounts. Little did I know that Lori was coming up with this procedure. I think that her taking the initiative to do this was a wonderful thing. I like that you mentioned passing this process on, because what about the other towns that don't have a Lori? We had her, which was tremendous. And I will say that, as was brought up before, that our registrars and our head moderator, there was a wonderful bipartisan effort. Not only on their part, we had so many people working at this recount, and everyone worked so hard throughout both days, very, very long days. And I will say that as a candidate, I felt that I was treated fairly, which I appreciate also. But I would have liked to have seen a little bit more organization and a procedure given to them. Again, we had great folks who figured it out, but that shouldn't be the rule. I think that we do need to set some guidelines. Maybe if the procedure had been in effect, there wouldn't have been a second recount, which is to say that maybe we can save another town from going through a second recount by what we learned. I also believe that if there is a concern with fraud or errors in a chip in the machine, those concerns should be eliminated in the beginning of the process, not necessarily in the recount process. I believe that the effort should be made on the beginning portion of the election process to test the machines and make sure that they are accurate and as free as possible from fraud and errors. Also, just to mention this, the recount in the race that I was part of was triggered by state statute. I'm mixed feelings about that as well. And of course, not unbiased feelings. But that is, that's something I think is important to consider when our recounts triggered. Not only the process, but when and how. Again, I'm not saying that it's something that needs to be changed, but I'd like to see it something that's looked at and considered in this process as we're going through. I would have loved to have seen this process used. I think that they found something that certainly worked for us here in East Haven. I would personally like to see it in conjunction with using the machines. So as you were saying earlier, go through the process of separating and checking for the ballots that maybe weren't as clearly marked, checking for voter intent, and then putting the ballots that were clearly marked back through the machine. I would say as far as voting with the machines is concerned, I like using the machines to vote. I like the process, I like the procedure. It was really the recount. I think that once we iron out the process, it will be a much better process as we fine-tune it and go forward. And again, thanks to Lori and Joe and Donna for getting Connecticut on the way to doing that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Questions?
Just a couple of comments, and maybe in favor of a special heart hypertension benefit for candidates who have to
this recount process. One thing I left out, and I think it's worth keeping in mind, I think this is the case in a lot of municipalities, that the scheduled inauguration day was the week and a half after the election. So the first recount was, I think, on Sunday, and then the second recount was on Wednesday, which was the Wednesday prior to the Saturday inauguration, to add a little drama to this. And if it had not been resolved on that day, to the satisfaction of all the parties, it's not clear what would have happened on inauguration day, and all the more reason to have an expedited process for working through this.
That's absolutely correct. What that translated to was we took a week and a half transition period, which is brief to begin with, and my transition was shortened to 2 days. So I had 2 days to transition into the role of mayor.
Maybe had there been any kind of contest going forward from the second recount, we would have been in, who knows what would have happened on Saturday. I know you and I have talked about this. One thing that struck me as I watched, especially the first recount, but even the second recount, if this had been a statewide election that was a close margin, a governor race or a U.S. Senate race with all the pressure that's brought down, and this recount having to take place in every single municipality in the state, big and small, with all these paper ballots on the table and countless people not exactly knowing how to run this. It seemed that there were security issues there. I mean, fortunately, apparently, all honest people showed up for that count, but it was cold out, people had coats and bags, and it was crowded, and it was not as light as it should have been inside there. And conceivably, ballots could have disappeared since they were distributed among 40 people that first day. So.
Absolutely, that's entirely possible. We didn't have a police officer there because we didn't know. We had no idea what this was going to be like and what was going to happen. And I would say that again, our moderator and registrars did the best they could, but when you have folks that are focused on the ballots and the counting, they're not focused on security as much. And that's an additional burden to them. Their concern should be, and I know it was, counting the ballots and making sure that the count is accurate. But that was an extra burden on them. And again, it was like being a blender. There was so much going on and so much activity that they kept things under control as best they could. Again, I worry about other towns who don't have Tommy, Joe, and Lori, and we're not getting them up. So, that's it was handled here. But the goal is to make it more uniform and streamline it so that it is easier and more productive and more accurate in other towns as well. I can't imagine a separate recount statewide.
On the same day.
On the same day. I would not want to be that candidate for state government because and I'm sure as elected officials you can all appreciate how that felt.
Fortunately, the recount did have Foley with his trusty camera monitoring what's going on, so if people were trying to sneak ballots under the table, then hopefully they got picked up on the camera. So, but in any event,